broadcasting to all 27 star systems from our interstellar headquarters in Heijengai. This is the Fatherhood News. As our regular viewers and listeners may be aware, we have been off the air for a while. During this time, I visited the star system of Havian DE to see firsthand the suffering our newest citizens are living through. I hope this will be a wake-up call to all commanders that all is not well in the Fatherhood Space. Havian DE. This star system was once a tourism hotspot and home to over 250 hard-working citizens, has today welcomed the fatherhood. But the majestic days of Hegnia Port are now but a distant memory. This tourism port, once renowned for its Art Deco style of classic 1920s theme that transported celebrities and politicians to a forgotten time, now spins in the black, empty, and a copy of all other tourism ports in the galaxy, serving as a spot for passing travelers wanting a cheap meal and a place to refuel. The only other stop in this system is the colony of Galliano Enterprise in Hignia DE4A. No market to speak of and a low living condition with poor hygiene that serves as evidence of the years of neglect this star system has suffered through. The suffering of citizens of Hignia DE continues even more, with famine spreading across all native factions. Those who could flee have, searching for a better way of life, leaving only the weak behind to fight over scraps. With daily riots on food silos a common sight these days, transport ships entering this star system face a threat of underpowered wings of desperate bandits. Those actions has forced Blackadder Armada, the controlling faction within this star system, to institute lockdown protocols that have delayed relief to the much needed starving citizens of this star system. With all the pain and suffering that citizens are facing, one vertical for every faction continues to be funded: the military. While its citizens starve, Hagian DE Services and Nagai Union continue to wage war for control of Komino Landing in Hagian DE4A, a small outpost creating modified embedded firmware and open seismic keys, key parts in the engineering rat race that all commanders must go through. The question is now, what will the fatherhood bring to this star system? Will it be peace, prosperity, or will we see the heavy arm of the military? Zane Shepherd for the Fatherhood News. Still to come on the Fatherhood News, Slothbot Peralta and Core Dynamics in The Sloth Rides Again.
Hello and welcome to your Galnet update. This week, Archon Delane, a well-known and very powerful pirate, gatecrashed the Galactic Summit demanding to be recognized as a political leader, causing a stir with Princess Deval and Shadow President Felicia Winters, and unrest amongst the other galactic powers. Many argued that the violence and criminality present in Delane's controlled systems were evidence enough to his exclusion from the political theater, only to be rebuffed by the long list of violent acts committed both by the Federation and Imperial powers, with implied violence in regards to recent events such as Starship One or the Marlinists. Arkin ended his statement by saying, and I quote, "We all wear a crown of bones." Given the nature of recent events, one can only assume the uncomfortable silence that followed such a statement. One draws on the quote, "Power never concedes without a demand," by Frederick Douglass. Both Imperial and Federal navies threatened to remove Delane's presence from the system and Summit, only later to be warned that Sirius Corporation would revoke their diplomatic immunity for doing so. Moving on, during the Galactic Summit, the one topic brought up that all parties were in agreement was the Thargoids. This included both Marlinists and Delane, who became signatories in the Sirius Treaty, bringing about disgruntled mumbles among the other major factions. The treaty allows all parties to work in collaboration in both defense and offense against the Thargoids. Further research into Guardian lost tech seems to be a point of collaboration by all parties. One can only assume that when or if a weapon or tool is created, things may begin to heat up further in Thargoid space. One thing is for sure, Ram Tah is going to have a heyday when he gets his hands on some of that new Guardian tech and retrofits it to our needs. Moving on. Jupiter Rochester was sentenced to life in prison. His involvement in the destruction of Starship One and its collusion with Fleet Admiral Vincent has branded him a traitor. For the time being, it seems that Felicia Winters has taken over as shadow presidency until things have fully settled down. Core Dynamics, hit with a heavy PR blow, has vowed to root out any loyalists and any deviations from the Core Dynamic message moving forward. Owen McKenna has called for a purge of all problems that could probably still exist for Core Dynamics. Even though the Jupiter division was short-lived, a byproduct of it was a commercial network of nearby groups looking to create a corporatist movement that is growing in popularity. This has been your Galnet update for the week. Take care and see you next time.
We interrupt this program as we've just received a breaking news. We are being told that a number of stations have been attacked across the galaxy, and I'm being told that we can cross over live to Eugene Snoops Snively.
Yeah, you can just call me Snoops.
Okay, no problem. So, Snoops, can you give us an update on this developing story?
Well, there are 3 Federation stations that got attacked. Mm-hmm. There was the one in Seoul, and then Nanama. No, Billy, what's that name again? That's it. Okay. Nanamam, that's the other one there. So there was Han Gateway in Nanamam, and then there was Li Qing Jiao in Seoul, and then there was Weya, the system Weya.
Terrible news.
Have we been there before? Yeah, I don't think we've been to there before, but Rhea got attacked as well.
Right. Okay.
Those are the ones in Federation space.
And Snoops, do we know why this attack happened? I mean, it sounds typical of Thargoids. I think that seems to be what happened. And are you able to kind of have you been able to gain access to any of the stations?
Well, you talk to the regular Joes around here and whatnot, and everyone's saying it's like the Neo-Marlinists and whatnot, and possibly like the Thargoids, and everybody's in a huff and whatnot. But some of the people that I know and the places that I go, they've been saying that it's been the Empire that's been doing this. That's a false flag operation. I mean, you just got to think about it a little bit. So,
in what way?
Well, I mean, you look at it this way. So, the Empire, they're afraid of the Marlinists. They're afraid, with all the different attacks and stuff going on here. Now, who's got the most to gain from this here? So, the Empire blame it on the Marlinists, okay? And then they get to stab the Federation and the Alliance in the back to take more power. But they can blame it on the Marlinists.
That absolutely makes sense, yeah.
They kick themselves in the balls, and then they blame it on the Marlinists, and then they get to stab their opponents in the back.
Wow, I mean, the Empire killing their own people to set up the NMLA up for this attack. Is that kind of what we're saying here?
Well, I mean, you think about it this way. If they are their enemy, and they make the Alliance the enemy, and they make the Federation the enemy. The enemy of the enemy is my friend. So therefore, they can pull the Alliance and the Federation in to take on the neo-modernist.
Well, I think it's fair to say that isn't exclusive only to the Fatherhood News, and it obviously speaks to the way the Empire has been known to behave in the past. So this is quite a revelation, and we'd like to thank you, Snoops, for bringing this to our attention. And I think we can all say that we hope that the superpowers will finally unite to bring the members of the upper echelons of the Empire that are responsible for this justice, because I'm pretty sure it took a lot of coordination by the Empire to enact this particular heinous act. Thank you again, Snoops.
You're most certainly welcome, sir.
And we are finally here with Slothbot Peralta, coming to us live from his exciting adventure to map every stellar body in a sector. This amazing scientific journey is sponsored by Core Dynamics. So, Sloth, good to hear from you again.
It's good to be here.
So, how's life been on the amazing ship as by our sponsor as Core Dynamics?
Oh, I can't thank Core Dynamics enough. The Federal dropship is a beauty. The paint job is fantastic. It supports everything I need to do for my exploration.
Amazing. And I know, as a veteran explorer like yourself, you only demand the highest quality. And I must say, it is surprising when you chose that particular ship, or the commanders of the Fatherhood help you to choose that particular ship. But I must say, I'm certainly looking forward to seeing what you've done with the amazing Federal dropship. But we won't get to that just yet. I must ask you, what have you been eating and drinking on your journey?
Well, some might find this kind of funny, and perhaps by coincidence, but today I actually had a bowl of chili and some Dr. Pepper and cornbread.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. A classic staple of the famous explorer that you are.
All right, shout out to the Distant Sloths crew.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. The amazing rescue efforts of the Distant Sloths. But as it is now time, and I think we've made everyone wait long enough throughout this whole show, why don't you tell us, how many systems have you mapped since January 20th, 3307?
Oh, it's been great. I've mapped 15 star systems.
Wow.
Just fantastic. I know, right?
Amazing.
It's incredible.
Amazing. 50 star systems. It's such an achievement.
Same.
I mean,
Same.
It speaks to the power
Same.
of the ship. And yes?
No, 15. 5. Not 50. 5.
5.
Yes.
But 15.
Teen.
Right. Yeah, was that like on the first day, right? It's not. No, I wanted to know how many would like to now, like today. How many have you done now? Not when we first spoke. I mean, 15. It's not.
Yeah, that's up to date. I just actually jumped into my 16th star system earlier today.
16.
And I'm taking a short break before I get started mapping that one.
A break. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, I mean, did you find anything interesting? I mean, there must have been plenty of exotic stellar bodies, at least that you discovered. Is there
so
anything?
far I've found 2 water worlds. I mean, first discoveries. That's great. First mapped. Ooh, even better.
Oh, okay. And just 2 water worlds. Yeah. Did they have like rings on them, or did any, any specific thing? Were they like?
No, they were just two plain old water worlds. No rings. They weren't even terraformable. So I mean,
well, all right, and just out of just so for our viewers, obviously, and how many kind of star systems do you think, kind of circa, do you have left on this journey?
I would say my best estimate would probably be somewhere around 3,500 systems.
3,500. That's just to be clear, because
3,500.
3,500.
Correct.
3,500 left, and you've done 15. 15.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. My analyst has just informed me of the ETA for completion. That'll be exciting to know when you're going to be coming home.
Oh, very.
And yeah, absolutely. And 250 years. It doesn't matter, because it's about the journey. It doesn't matter about when it's completed. It's about the journey.
That's right.
And I think you'll
all
agree.
that matters is the journey. Being out here, just you in space. I mean, that's the important part.
In the core dynamics federal dropship. Again, the sponsor of our segment.
Fantastic medium explorer ship. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to speak about Core Dynamics, they installed an archive link. My understanding of that is supported by 15 fleet carriers that enables you now to access all that scientific information that they've discovered that was once thought it was lost. I mean,
wow,
what do you feel about
50
that?
fleet carriers. So they're like tethered together.
No, sorry, Sloth.
What?
It's 15 fleet carriers. 50 would be quite impressive. Well, one would say even reasonable, but no, it's just 15.
I mean,
15 fleet carriers, 5, kind of like the same amount of star systems that you have done since 45 days ago.
I mean, 15 fleet carriers, that's a lot. I mean, tethered from me all the way back to the bubble. I mean, whew.
Yeah. I mean, they paid, $5 billion per fleet carrier. They've invested a lot of money, and with all the upkeep and everything else, and that's quite impressive. I mean, I won't keep you any longer, and thank you again for your time, and I'm sure our viewers are really excited to hear your update in the next coming show. Hopefully, more exciting discoveries are on the horizon.
I just want to thank Core Dynamics for sponsoring all this and giving me the equipment I need, and the 15 fleet carriers for the archive and everything.
Sure.
I just want to thank you,
fine.
Zane, for having
that's
me.
Fine.
It's been great to be here.
Thank you, Sloth. We won't keep you from your chili, and that's fine. Thank you.
Thank you.
For the Fatherhood News, I have been Zane Shepherd. Remember, Commanders, don't dream of the stars, fly amongst them. Thank you, and good night.